Rideshare buddy out on the road, helping each other lighten the load. Tips and tricks, yeah, the knowledge flows in this grind where the journey glows.
Hi and welcome back to the channel. This is Rideshare Buddy UK. My name's Kevin. It's Sunday, the 15th of June, Father's Day. And today I'm going to be doing a June update of EV charging news for professional drivers. And I'm on my way to an EV station charging hub that I've been to before when it first opened about 5-6 months ago, and I did a video from there, and I said great location, but I'm not going to be using it because it's too expensive. It was one of the most expensive Tesla's charging hubs I've ever come across by quite some way, and that's had the membership pricing. I think it was something like 53p kilowatt hour, and peak time and off peak went down to about 42p or something like that. But now it's one of the cheapest places to charge in Wales, so I'll be having a look at that. It's Bridgend Designer Village, the new Tesla hub, opened up about 5-6 months ago. Tesla has continued to change its pricing policy. We'll take a look at that. Another thing we'll be taking a look at in the second half is now that Pod Point, or Pod as it now likes to be called, has had its shares suspended on the London Stock Exchange because of an imminent takeover bid. What will that mean? Who's going to be taking it over? And what does it mean for EV charging? And will it sort of boost some competition? We'll have a look at that. And the final one we'll be looking at today, the final one we'll be looking at today is what has made BYD change its mind about bringing in the 1,000 kilowatt charging network to the UK, and what has made change its mind about bringing in 1,000 kilowatt charging cars. They'll be launched early next year, beginning of 2026, and BYD will be rolling out its 1,000 kilowatt charging stations across the UK from the second half of 2026. They will be open to all. So what made them change their mind? We'll have a look at that later. But let's get off to Bridgend Designer Village and the Tesla charging station and get the car charged, and we'll start having a chat about this month's topics of interest. Right, as you can see, we are at the Bridgend Designer Village at the Tesla charging station here. We're going to do a full charge, or up to 90% if it allows me to go that way, and we'll see why. Right, now I came here when it first opened, and I did that video on it. I think, when was it? Probably February update. I did it from here, and then we had two prices. It was an off peak about 43 pence, and peak time was about 52 or 53 pence a kilowatt hour, making it the most expensive Tesla station that I knew of. And I said at the time, great location on the M4, easy to get to, lots of services available, great place, but at those sort of prices, no way would I be using this place at all. I'd rather carry on to Carmarthen in the one direction, or try and make it back to Cardiff in the other. I wouldn't stop here because of the pricing. Far too expensive, even as a Tesla membership. That has now changed. Recently, Tesla has been doing some changes to the way and the structure of its pricing. A lot of locations are not having off-peak and peak time charging, and this is one of them. Changed last month, and now it's 39p a kilowatt hour whatever time you come in. There is no off-peak or peak time. It's just a day rate of 39 pence a kilowatt hour. Now that compares to Carmarthen, which is 37 pence, but you have to pay for parking, which you don't here, and the Cardiff Cardiff Tesla showroom is off-peak and peak time about the same. So it's not too bad a choice now. This will be on my stop list for the M4 as I head down towards Swansea and beyond if needed. Good location changes there. So that's a price change for Tesla, which I think most professional EV drivers will have a membership for Tesla because of such a good network. Ionity is pretty much the same, 43p, good choice, probably the cheapest apart from Tesla that you'll find. I would suggest if you've got a Tesla station local to keep an eye on it to see if it does change over to the 24-hour pricing model. You might save a bit of money there. If you're an Uber driver, BB Pulse, connect your account to your Uber account and you get free BB Pulse. You also get special rates of 49 pence per kilowatt hour. So you're below that 50 pence kilowatt hour. I believe there's no £750 grants left available now. When those were first launched last year, Uber said it'd be for the first 8,000 people to apply. I understand that has now ended. The full 8,000 £750 credits have been allocated. So I believe it's no longer available. But it's still worth, if you're an Uber driver, connecting your account up to your BP Pulse. Get your free BP Pulse subscription and 49p kilowatt hour. That's guaranteed until November. So summer months ahead, your pricing is fixed, 49 pence. Always a good backup to have. There's not a great many BP Pulse ones around. A lot of them are 50 kilowatt chargers, but a good price if you get caught out. Now some 350 kilowatt BP chargers down at the Q Park in Heathrow Airport, which is really useful. You don't pay car parking, just you swing around to the right just before you get to the barriers and your reg is taken and you don't pay car parking. So BB Pulse, Tesla, Ionity, pretty much standard this month for professional EV drivers. As a professional, you're really not interested in anywhere else because the pricing is so high. It's just not worth doing. But that could be changing soon because I've a couple of bits of news items that I'm going to cover now, which is Pod Point. It's over. It's over for Pod, as I like to be called now. Their shares have been suspended on the London Stock Exchange and they're about to be taken over by EDF. That's an interesting one. And BYD is on the way to UK with its 1,000 kilowatt charging system. That's going to be real interesting because they want to take on the Tesla network, and if their pricing is to compete with Tesla, and it almost certainly will be, we could have that price war actually happening, even though it's been predicted quite a lot. It hasn't yet happened, but it could happen, and that means the likes of Instavolt, GridServe, Sainsbury's, all these 85 pence a kilowatt hour chargers, they're going to be finished. They're going to have to compete and they're going to have to close up. But let's have a look at Pod, or the old Pod Point. What's happening there? So in one of my previous EV charging updates, I did say Pod Point was ripe for takeover, even that it was going to collapse. Their share price 2 years ago, well over £2 a share. I bought in a few months ago at 10 pence a share, and they've continued to dropped down to 6.5, 5.4p a share was the lowest it went a couple of weeks ago. EDF has now announced that they're going to be taking over Pod. The board of Pod have no choice in the matter. I was hoping for a hostile takeover, get a bit of competition going, and hopefully buying at 10 pence a share, I'd make some money. It's not a hostile takeover. Over the last few months, probably about 6 months to 8 months, EDF has slowly been buying up Pod Point shares. They're now the majority shareholder at 53 pence, at 53%. Last week they announced they were going to take over Pod Point. They were going to pay 6.5p a share. The board has reluctantly agreed to it. They can't fight it. Pod Point, EDF, majority shareholder. And last week, the London Stock Exchange suspended Point shares from the market. So no more trading in that. So EDF is pretty much going to buy out all of what's left over of the shares and take sole control of Pod. And that could be a good move for EDF. Not so good for me. I'm going to lose 4p a share. I didn't buy a lot. It really was just a gamble, as I said. It was either going to collapse or it was going to be taken over. But not in a hostile way. So no big boost in the share price. So what have EDF bought for that? They bought basically the network, and it's going to be those Tesco's car parking forecourt locations. They're going to have to do a lot of work to boost it, to change the chargers. They're going to have to get rid of those 22 kilowatt, 11 kilowatt and 7 kilowatt chargers. Nobody uses them, not interested. But if EDF changes those for 100 or 200 kilowatt chargers, that could be a game changer. Could help really change the fortunes of Pod. EDF are a energy producer, distributor and retailer. They can really cut prices if they wanted to. The other major energy generator who are into the EV charger market is E.ON. E.ON charges, they have no membership, it's just flat retail price of, I believe it's now 56 pence. It went up when the charging cap went up, the electricity cap went up, went from 53 pence up to 56 pence. That's still a good price when you compare 87, 88 pence, 90 pence with Shell, with Sainsbury's, Instavolt, GridServe. Still a very good price. Now, if EDF comes in, now that's going to price it for EDF and E.ON start to compete, we could see non-membership pricing come below or close to the 50 pence a kilowatt mark, and that would be a good game changer. I mean, the price of energy at E.ON, at Ionity with membership, is 43 pence. If you can get 45, 46 pence without membership, if that competition between E.ON and EDF takes off, it could really make a big difference. Regarding the supermarkets, if Tesco's decides to let EDF take control and continue with the contract with supplying their customers with charging, and EDF brings in about 50 pence a kilowatt hour, Sainsbury's will have to respond because at the moment they're charged for like 80 pence, way too expensive for the normal user. So that's a big move. EDF coming into the market, and they're coming in big time with the Pod Point real estate of Tesco's car park. Interesting. But the other one that I'm really keen on is BYD. BYD have announced that from next year, they're going to be rolling out 1,000 kilowatt chargers in the UK, and they want their charging network to compete with the Tesla network. If they're going to do that, they're going to be pricing at the same prices as Tesla. Whether that's going to be membership price or non-membership price, we don't know. We'll have to wait to see. But in the run-up to that, starting early next year, 2026, BYD are going to start launching their 1,000 kilowatt charging cars in the UK. That's a big change from 6 months ago, where they said they wasn't interested in moving these big, fast, or what they call flash chargers to the UK. So what's changed? What's made that happen? I think that's the first signs of the Labour government's finally getting to grips with planning and the benefits that's happening. From last month, EV chargers don't need planning permission. And they don't need planning permission for the chargers or the infrastructure, such as the cabinets and substations. All those are now planning exempt. And I think that was what made BYD change their mind and come to the UK. Because before last month, they wasn't going to come here. They announced the changes to the planning, exempted EV chargers, and within weeks, BYD have plans to come to the UK. So, first benefits that we've finally seen from Labour's plans to tackle planning regulations, because that will basically cut out at least 12 months of preliminary work. Don't have to apply for planning permission. They can buy the site, they can start installing the chargers. If planning was required, they'd have to buy the site. It takes 12 months to get planning permission, tens of thousands of pounds in fees, and if the local NIMBYs or councillors objected, there could be the protracted fight, and it would cost them thousands, tens of thousands more per charger to get them up and running. No planning permission needed, buy the site, install the chargers. The next thing the government has to do is tackle the national grid connection fees, and that could help greatly as well. But let's have a look at the plans for BYD. I've got to just go check on the full details, and then I'll be right back. So yeah, they're 1,000 kilowatt charging car brands. There's two. There's a Denza, which rivals the Porsche, and you've also got the Langwang, which is their luxury brand. Yangwang, their luxury brand. But the model's coming to the UK next year, 2026. At the beginning of 2026, will be the Denza Z9 GT Saloon. If you're interested, want to look at some pricing on that for EV taxi. The Z9 GT will then be followed by an MPV, the D9. Now these are some more luxury Porsche-based or competitors, so they may be a bit too pricey. But after the D9, then the SUVs will be coming out. So the Z9, I'll certainly be looking at the pricing at that. Because if that can charge on 1,000 kilowatt rate, that's 1.6 miles per second, putting on 251 miles in 5 minutes. The first of the flash charging stations will be launching in the second half of next year in the UK. They are going to be competing against Tesla. They're wanting as big as Tesla network. And it will be open to all. So interesting to see what sort of pricing they're going to come out at. Chinese are very competitive on pricing. If they can come in at 40p kilowatt hour at 1,000 kilowatt chargers, that's going to be good. Going to be good news. It's going to beat petrol prices. It's going to be as fast charging as it is to put in petrol. And just generally good news. So that's one to look out for. But it's only a year away. The rapidity in change in technology in EVs at the moment, it's like the changes in the power and speed of computers in the 1980s. It's just vast and it's rapid, and it's being led by the Chinese, because in this country local councils are still wondering about when they put their 7 kilowatt chargers. Chinese are here with 1,000 kilowatt chargers from next year. So that's good roundup for the June. Some good news with BYD coming into the UK. Could be good news with EDF taking over Pod, because they've got the generators. They can buy in at wholesale prices. They can buy in at manufactured prices. So they could make a big difference in pricing. So until next month, that's July already. Thanks for watching this update on EV charging for professional drivers.